Jared Van Hees here with the Habitat Podcast. I'm here planning and prepping for a new food plot on a new farm today. The first thing to consider when placing your new food plot is the location, and that's based on the wind direction. This is a predominantly west wind area, so we're going to be hunting on the east side of the cover. This allows us to park and access the food plot in our blind into the wind without the deer smelling or seeing us. There are many different food plot shapes one can choose from when starting a new food plot, but we went with the hourglass shape. What that's going to do is naturally pinch down the traveling deer in front of our blind, which is in the middle of the hourglass. Any deer traveling from one side or the other will come through the center, narrow portion of the food plot, which happens to be within bow range of our ground blind. We want to set up our tree stand or blind on the downwind side of the food plot. There were no large trees here, so we had to resort to a ground blind. We chose a large clump of pine trees as they hold their cover all year long, where we set our ground blind inside. Now we can access our blind from downwind without anything in the food plot being able to see or smell us. We placed this food plot directly in between a known bedding area and destination food. The deer are going to come out of the known bedding in the evening, come down through our micro kill plot out into the destination crop fields where they'll spend most of the night. You can use any do-it-yourself tools when making a food plot. A brush hog, leaf blower, weed whipper, chainsaw. Now let's go make a food plot.
Okay.
It's a chip shot, 20 yards where it narrows down. And the rest of this we can cut as much as you want. I'd leave some of the nicer trees, like those pines, and because those would be good scrape trees.
Okay, yeah.
But the autumn olive and whatnot, you can bulldoze that.
How about like right here, these?
Yeah, we're gonna want to get rid of those, small them. And so this will be our wide end. We'll narrow it down through
all
here.
All the way to the wood, do you think?
So you don't have to go all the way.
Okay.
It's good to have a buffer between the woods and the food plot. So actually, 10 yards short.
Okay.
There'll be that edge of just this stuff.
Okay.
Lead out to it. I can walk ahead of you too and just follow me. Maybe I'll just walk.
Okay.
Or vice versa, and we can get it going. We're doing the hourglass shape right here. See all the rubs on these old poplar trees right here? They're old rubs. Once we shape this out, I wouldn't be surprised if those rubs turn back this fall. So we're back here cutting in this new plot. We have some bigger structure back there, some larger trees that we don't want to hit with a brush hog, so I brought those steel along. Gonna take out some of those in the meantime for the brush hog to be able to get through there. So let's go get working on that. So as you can hear, the tractors on the other side of those pine trees, you can't even see it. Our blind is going to be nestled in these trees, and if you can't see a tractor moving, the deer won't be able to see us getting into that blind. So we're back here at the north end of the hourglass food plot. We got cover back in there, right? So we're gonna have them come out here where it's kind of a wide food plot. We're gonna choke them down and narrow down past our blind. But the reason we're leaving some of this cover in the plot, first of all, I don't like cutting down beautiful pine trees, but these will serve as scrape locations and actually cover. So we may be in the cover, but if you'll notice out in the field, if there's a clump of weeds or something like that or a tree, the deer like to be around that or up against it. So you'll see them browse in and around the cover. So we're just trying to make it feel secure in here so we'll catch one of those mature deer on their feet. Alright guys, we wrapped up the brush hogging portion. We carved in the food plot. We left some cover in here. We have a fair hourglass shape with a pinch right by the blind. Now normally after you cut like this, these plants are going to go into shock, and you would wait to spray an herbicide about 7 to 10 days later to when they're really trying to grow. I have the sprayer here today. I'm gonna hit this anyway just because we're here. Then again, in 10 days when it's maybe trying to regrow or some of it didn't die, we'll hit it again. So we left the vegetation a little bit taller, 6 to 12 inches taller. So the herbicide will have something to grab onto now. If you cut it all too short like your lawn at home, you're not leaving enough of the plant for the herbicide, the Roundup, glyphosate is what we're gonna use here, to grab onto the plant, suck down to the roots and die. So next step, let's spray this food plot. I'm going to show you what we're using here for a herbicide. This is a TSC brand of Roundup. So what the actual chemical is glyphosate, weed killer, broadleaf herbicide. So it'll take out anything it touches on. It has to land on the leaves or on the grass itself to be able to be sucked into the roots. 2 quarts per acre for a full kill. And we're going to load up and go burn down is what we call it, this food plot we just carved in. So. And we're going to do a soil test. This one is from our friends at Killer Food Plots. A lot of companies have them. You can even do it yourself and have Michigan State University test your soil. But how we do this is we're going to go throughout the food plot and take 6 or 7 different samples of the soil. Toss it all in this bucket here. We'll mix it around, and that is what you send in, a mixture of your food plot, different samples throughout the plot. We're trying to get the soil to a perfect 7.0 with acidity, so whatever we're lacking, we're going to add to that. We're going to get all the grass out of here and we're going to let it dry out. Once it's dry, mix it all together, and that's what we're going to fill up our soil test kit with to send into the lab. About 24 to 48 hours we'll have a turnaround, and we'll go into those details when we get that back.